Hey, milkman, what's your 20?
Hey, man, I'm down here at the westbound 191 and making good time.
Bad news, man. Just got word of a crash in the work zone. Unless you want to burn time in that backup, come on, join me for a bite at Deb's. I think Kickshot's heading in, too.
10-4 Papa Smurf. Thanks for the heads up, man. Man, that must have been a bad wreck. Have you heard what happened?
Oh, yeah. Same old, same old. Said a four-wheeler was trying to merge late at the lane closure. Cut off a truck. The driver couldn't stop. The vehicle is mangled.
Man, that's too bad. I swear, things like this is just happening all the time, especially in the work zones. And here we are sitting here wasting our time, can't get home to our families either.
I know. I swear, man, if people would just slow down, pay attention, and have a little patience. On the bright side, though, Deb, it doesn't look like it's doing too bad for business.
I'll be so glad when this is all cleaned up and back to normal. Tell you, that work zone area has been nothing but a mess and a headache since it started.
Deb, I know it's been a headache, but you'll be glad they did it when it's all finished.
Yeah, Deb. That interstate's gonna be 4 lanes, free and clear, all the way to the state line. Well, you're gonna have more customers than you can handle. You might even have to hire some real help.
I know it ain't much fun now, but if we want better roads, we got to deal with the construction. I mean, the state keeps growing and growing. We have to keep up. Roads don't just build themselves, you know.
I know what you mean. Sometimes things have to get bad before they get better. Guess that's the price of progress. We just have to do the best we can.
Excuse me, ma'am, are you the manager of this lovely establishment?
Lovely manager, that's me. I'm Deb, just like it says on the sign. What can I do for you, sweetie?
Well, my name is Angela Salsby, and this is my cameraman, Wes. I'm a reporter with GBC News, and we're doing a story on safety in highway work zones. With the nation's aging infrastructure, there are work zones everywhere.
Ain't that the truth? Well, we were just talking about what a hassle they can be. But they're necessary, so we have to live with it, I guess.
Did you know in the past 5 years, more than 5,000 people have been killed in work zones across the U.S.? Several recent wrecks in this particular work zone have involved large trucks, and I'd like to find out why. I was doing a live shot on the backup and decided to follow some of the truckers who were exiting the interstate in hopes of getting their 2 cents worth. And since you all came here, well, we did too.
Oh, surprise, surprise. It's always the trucker's fault. Well, that's what they are.
Actually, I am on your side here, but I do need your help. Deb, would it be okay if we talk to the guys, ask them a couple of questions, and film the interviews here? It would be good publicity for you.
It's okay with me if it's okay with them, as long as you get the story right.
So what do you think? Can you help me out?
Will we be on TV?
It's possible. Are you volunteering?
No, ma'am, not me. I might break the camera. But I'll bet Rick wouldn't mind.
Hey, Rick.
Gee, thanks, Johnny. So what do you want to know?
Well, I figure you guys drive for a living. You're professionals, right? And I bet you spent a lot of time on the road in work zones. I'd just like to hear what your experiences are. What do you see out there day in, day out? And what responsibilities do you feel you have as a professional to make work zones safer for everyone?
Well, I guess the most important thing to remember is that people are actually right out there working on the road with cars and trucks zooming by. So I guess everyone needs to just slow down. I mean, those folks out there are in danger, and it's up to us to look out for them.
You know, it's funny you should mention the workers. That's the whole angle we started off with, the whole my daddy works here and all. But I learned something pretty interesting. Even though worker safety is really important, 4 out of 5 people who are killed in work zone crashes are motorists, not workers. Yeah, most people don't know that. Today's tragedy is a prime example.
You know, now that you mention it, it usually is the motorist. I can tell you a story. I have a friend named Gary Haney. You guys remember him, don't you? Well, when he was hauling a full load, I mean getting it on down the road, like flying, because that's what he was known for. That's why we called him Flatfoot. Well, he comes up on a work zone and plows into the rear of an SUV, killing the driver. He was going so fast that even after he saw the orange signs in the work zone, he just could not stop. The construction workers were the first people to get to the wreck, but they weren't the ones involved. That little girl's daddy might still be here today if Gary had just slowed down. Now he can't get past it. He's quit driving. Basically, he's quit living. Really depressed, you know. Knows it was his fault because he was speeding. The family forgave him, but he just can't forgive himself. I learned my lesson from Gary. I run the posted speed, period. There's way too much that can happen out there, and it can really mess up your life. If you're speeding, you won't have the reaction time. Saving a minute or two here or there definitely ain't worth losing your life or taking someone else's.
Statistics show speeding and driver distraction account for nearly 55% of all work zone crashes. That's true whether they involve a large truck or not. Do you think truckers really set the pace for other drivers?
Well, yeah, we can affect speed to some extent. I mean, if you're really rolling, other drivers are likely to roll with you. But if you just cruise along nice and easy, there's a good chance the traffic around you might slow down a bit. And if they don't, that's their choice. At least you've done your part.
But don't cars always try to pass trucks because they don't want to get stuck behind you? I know I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but a car can stop much faster if it needs to. Now you have to drive defensively when you're driving a truck. You have to be ready for whatever the cars around you might do. Stay alert and look out for the nuts out there. You're the professional. That means you should drive the speed limit. Speeding is like to make you at fault if something does happen. You might speed 100 times, but no problem. But it's that one ticket, that one crash, you wish you'd have slowed down. Gary says every day that he would give anything just to change what happened. The hardest part for him is that it didn't have to happen.
Okay, so everyone should slow down, period. Do you think most truckers regularly exceed the speed limit?
No, most of us are aware of the consequences, if we do. The ones aren't aware or just don't care are the ones we always hear about. It's the whole bad apple spoils the barrel thing. Truthfully, it's the cars that I see speeding all the time.
Yeah, the truckers get blamed for all these crashes, when very few of them are actually the trucker's fault. I mean, just because a truck's involved in an accident, that don't mean the driver's responsible for it.
I can see how you might feel that way, but there is a reason for that perception. Statistics show that work zone crashes involving tractor-trailers are significantly more likely to be fatal than those which do not involve a truck. Because of it, work zone crashes involving trucks are more highly publicized.
But you always make us out to be the bad guys. I mean, unless somebody falls asleep and flat out runs into the back of the truck without even touching their brakes, we get blamed. I mean, that's the truth. My Uncle Billy, he drove a truck all his life. A few years ago, he was involved in a crash that wasn't his fault. Car cut him off with the lane closure. You know how they do. So they fly up beside you and cut in real close, just at the last second.